Hey everybody, welcome back. And for those of you keeping track, this is my fourth video tonight. I'm trying to catch up. Uh, Stuff I got for you tonight is more comic related than actual comic books, but a lot of great stuff. There's some books in here. The one book that I well, not forgot about, but hadn't really got around to showing it, and some other stuff, just comic related, but I think well worth the wait. Anyway, one of the first things I found, I've got in this stack, was a Amazing Spider-Man paperback. Now this is, I think, reprints of the newspaper strip by John Romita and Stan Lee. So I try to get these pocketbooks, anytime I see them pop up. This one's in fairly good shape. Got a few stains on it, but otherwise, actually haven't really taken it out of the bag yet. But always kind of happy to see these pop up, and I try to grab the ones I don't have whenever I do see them. Okay, this next one. Really happy to find this. For those of you that collect the old book and record sets, this is Escape from Planet of the Apes, and this is complete with the 45 record inside. It's pretty nice shape. A little bit different take, comic-wise. But I think they made about 4 of these. I don't know why they didn't do one for every movie, but I think they just did 4 movies. And I think I have this one and Beneath, and I need 2 more. But yeah, this one actually is complete with the 45 in it. So most of you guys know I'm a big Apes fan, so really glad to have this one in the collection. Got some company fans, or not fanzines, but I guess in-house company magazines. One that I didn't have was Charlton Spotlight number 7. For you Charlton fans, got some great reprints of covers on the back. Got some great articles in here. As a lot of you already know, Dick Giordano, before he came to DC, worked at Charlton. So they have a nice article in here about him. Dick Giordano Remembered. So any fans of Charlton. And I always loved Giordano's art, especially his inking. He did a lot of nice stuff for Neil Adams. And he inked a whole lot of Dick Dillon stuff on the Justice League in the 70s. More stuff by Dick. But for fans of Charlton Comics, I would highly recommend this magazine. A lot of really nice articles and stuff that you might not otherwise know about the creators that work for that company. Another magazine I remember, I think I had a few when I was a kid, but I saw these and couldn't pass them up. For those of you that remember, in tradition of Mad and Crazy and Not Brand Echh, we have Sick, and this is actually in the 70s when it was published by Charlton Comics. More parodies of TV shows. They parody Star Wars in this one. Just a lot of stuff. Jack Davis does a lot of the art. Just a really cool magazine. And here is, I'm not sure the number, actually. Anyway, this came out in December of '77. This was October of '76. And I think I kind of looked in this when I had a real nice parody of the Waltons called the Broughton's, where they were always fighting with each other. But really cool stuff. I really love the black and white format. But this just, just kind of one of those little odd magazines that I love to get every once in a while. Okay, got some upgrades of an in-house magazine that DC did back in the mid-70s called The Amazing World of DC Comics. I've got the whole run of this, and I've been wanting to do a video on for a while, and I've got the box pulled out, so I just need to get them out and kind of go back over what I want to talk about. But these are 3 of my favorite issues. I bought a few of these when I was a kid, and you send off your $1.50, which back then was a whole lot of money. Because you spend $1.50, and back then that was like 6 or 7 comics. And I was like, but I remember sending out for this one. This is an upgrade, but this is the first one I sent off for when I was a kid. Number 5, Sheldon Mayer, The Man Behind the Golden Age, and I think this is a reprint of a comic Cavalcade cover from the 40s. But it's got some really cool articles about the Sugar and Spike, if you remember that strip. And this magazine really goes inside, behind the scenes stuff, animation, comics, movies. It's got some office pics of the guys working in DC Comics. So nice to get an upgrade of that one. And 2 more of my favorite issues. Number 14. This is an all Justice League of America issue. I think it had like a complete checklist, blueprints for the headquarters, an interview with Julie Schwartz. Got an interview with Richard Donner behind the scenes on the Superman movie. It's got a great Dick Dillon cover on this one. And I think this might be maybe Mike Esposito, or I'm not sure, it might be Joe Giella. But a nice cover on the back. Lots of great articles. And here's a copy of number 12, the great Mike Grell cover. And I've actually got another copy of this autographed by Grell somewhere on the shelf, I think. But this was like a special sci-fi cover, Earth After Disaster. So it covers like Hercules Unbound and some stuff about Kamandi and the New Gods. And there's actually an article that ties the New Gods and Earth After Disaster and Hercules and OMAC and all that stuff that was going on around then. And I think this has actually got a black and white story that was actually reprinted in color later on in Weird War Tales by Mike Grell. So you got a nice sci-fi Weird War story by Mike Grell in here in black and white. Like I say, got some great articles. Got a great cover. Got a really nice Walt Simonson Metal Man cover. I loved his Metal Man. For fans of Simonson. Okay, these last 2 are pretty special also. Of course, I've read most of these stories in this next book, but to have them in this format is really nice. I'm sure some of you guys already got this book. This is Creepy Presents Berni Wrightson. And anybody that doesn't like Berni Wrightson is a communist, if there is such a thing anymore. But it reprints a lot of his best stuff from Creepy and Eerie. I think it reprints his first thing he did for Creepy, the Black Cat. Just some beautiful artwork. What can you say about Wrightson that hasn't already been said? But, just great stuff. I think you actually got some stories that Carmine Infantino drew and Wrightson inked them. So here's some more. I think this is his famous story, Jennifer. Which was a great story. Just a beautiful, beautiful book. Beautiful, beautiful book. For fans of Wrightson, highly recommend this one. So there's that. And this book I got a few weeks ago, and I pre-ordered this, and I'd wanted it for a while. But they were a DC in this company called Taschen, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But some books written by Paul Levitz, who was a longtime scripter for DC, and he was the editor-in-chief and publisher at one time for a long time for DC Comics. But this is actually a book that just focuses on the Bronze Age of DC Comics. Now there's a Golden Age version and a Silver Age version that I want to get also. But I really wanted this one because this is the time I really got into comics. Of course, this is repro of Superman 233 by Neil Adams, but it's got some great articles in it. Got a Nick Carty thing in the old ads there. Got Denny O'Neil interview. Got repros of some of the most famous covers from the Bronze Age. There's first Ra's al Ghul. Actually, Bomba the Jungle Boy was one of Denny O'Neil's first scripting jobs at DC when he came there in the 60s, late 60s. Just a great book. Lots of nice articles for fans of DC in the Bronze Age. I know it's kind of hard because this is a huge book. It's over 400 pages. It's got some repros and most famous covers. I'm not going to go all the way through this. I'm just going to kind of give you a little peek. There's a Superman Spider-Man team up. We got the repro of DC 100-page Spectacular number 5, or number 6, I'm sorry. I should know this since I have all these. Just some great stuff. So for anybody that's a fan of the Bronze Age, fan of DC Comics, I would highly recommend this. I've just thumbed through some of it and read a few of the articles, but like I say, it's got a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, featuring a lot of the writers and the artists. So anyway, another book I'm glad to have. I'm glad you guys stuck around for mainly a comic-related video, but some really cool stuff in here. And especially for people that like behind the scenes and the history of comics. And as far as the DC book, like I say, there's a DC in the Golden Age and DC in the Silver Age, which Paul Levitz also wrote. And there's actually a book called 75 Years of DC Comics, Modern Myth Making. And it was sort of the same thing that's in these books, but actually it was only like 720 pages, but it was this size, so it was like a, like a 16-pound book, and that thing costs probably, anywhere from $125 to $250 now, because I guess there was just like a limited print run. But you can actually get more information because all of these books, the single books from the Golden and Silver and Bronze Age, are 400 pages, so you get 1,200 pages of art and articles and just great stuff if you're a DC fan, which I am. But anyway, glad you guys could stick around for that one. I try not to make these videos too long, because if I tried to show everything at once, it'd be like an hour and a half, and that's, there's a lot of people on here that I would sit through an hour and a half of their video just because, I love the way they present their stuff and listen to them talk, but I wouldn't want to listen to myself for an hour and a half. Just me. But anyway, glad you guys could stick around, and we'll see you soon.